Exclamation, everybody, and welcome back to the LiveCraftMine server. You're probably wondering, where the heck am I? Although I've probably just given it away by showing you the beacon over there. I am back in spawn, doing a little bit more work here. I'll show you exactly where I'm at. We are just beyond Pure Stone's Pure Mart. And I believe there's a patrolling creeper over there. Saw him a little bit earlier. I believe Encyclosaurus's mines are over there, and there is our. Ooh, what was that noise? There was suddenly a popping in my ear. Maybe it's my ear. maybe it's finally going. And then right across the way here is our furniture store, which I still haven't completed yet. I still need to. I think what I'm going to do in here is, well, I need a place to actually, where people can actually pick up what they have, what they want to buy and whatnot. And I've been kind of looking around trying to figure out where I'm going to do that. I have a feeling I might have a basement area that you just go down a ladder to actually get to all the different, the cash register and everything else, and I'll put signs on all these things that they are identified, and you can just pick up the parts for them and all that stuff. But you can see it hasn't changed since the last time I showed it off. It's been a while since I've been back here. I've been doing a lot of stuff over at the valley, just trying to get a few things going here. I need a few of these spruce fences, actually. I'm thinking about it. But what I'm doing, I finally gotten a little bit of inspiration, not a lot. And by not a lot, I mean, I don't know what this thing's going to look like yet. I just know what I want it to be. Just like that over there, I didn't know what I wanted it to look like, but I knew what I wanted it to be. Here, this is going to be a recreation center, hopefully. Hopefully a community recreation center, if I, since I am in the spawn area. But as you can see, I remain woefully unprepared, as always. I don't have the supplies, the necessary amount of supplies that I need to finish this. So this is going to be a long-running project where I try to actually gather the resources necessary, as tend to be all of my projects. Woe the day that I finally actually plan something out appropriately and I know exactly how much resources I need before I hit record. But that wouldn't. I would expect that you're not expecting me to have that, to actually do that at some point in time. I think this is just par for the course here, as it is for my Minecraft videos. Now, I think what I was thinking here is, I know this. I know you're looking at this and you're going, "This looks like crap." And where's that creeper at? Did he despawn? Maybe. And I agree. It does look like crap. What I'm trying to do is just get the basic layout of it. What I had in my mind, as always, was much larger than what I can really feel like I can afford to do. Because again, this is spawn. I don't want to take up too much space, and this is already kind of large for a spawn build. Although I've pushed it out here as far as I can in the hopes that there's enough room around here that everyone will feel like I'm not co-opting too much here. But I got it nestled over in this area. What I have, the plans I have in my head here, there's going to be a downstairs. This is going to be 2 floors. And I was thinking of having just a streak through it. Like a streak of brown, sort of, like making it look like a kind of a recreation center that's been around since, say, the 70s or whatnot. Where they had like random streaks, random lines through everything, diagonal lines through everything. I kind of want to do that with the brown brown stained clay, and then have the rest be the quartz. And also I want to, and I think I will do this right now if I can grab it out of the chest here. I also want to have some of this blue stained clay around a couple windows. And I didn't put the windows up yet because I wasn't sure exactly where I wanted them. but now I think I can see where I want these windows to be. So let's do that maybe. And what I'll do is I'll have it be sort of a large window that goes, you know, all the way up through 2 floors. Because I think that'll look that'll look different. It'll look like it was a, you know, again, it's that kind of style. So in the center here will be the actual glass, which I will do probably blue stained glass, I think. I have to go grab it. I did not grab it out of the chest. So we got this over here. So that's what, 2 over from the side. And then there's 2 here. So there's 2 there. And then 2 over from the side. Okay, so let's try this over here. Now, the other weird thing is that we're on uneven ground. So I'm going to try to keep this top level even so that it doesn't look too funky. But the other option I have here is to build this ground back up. But then over here, I'm at the same level, sort of. So I don't know. I don't know yet. I might go through and build this ground back up all the way around here so that everything is even, so you don't have to step, you know, a step down and then a step back up again. That might be the correct way to do it. I'll have to think about it though. Right now, it's just I have plenty of dirt. I've knocked all the dirt out of there. And as I said down here, I want to clear all this out, and I'll tell you what I'm thinking of having down there in a moment. But first, let's get that's not the right level. As you can see, I've cheaped out a little bit and made some quartz slabs to or used some quartz slabs I was using on other things. Let's put this here, some scaffolding, so we can get to where we need to go. All right, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Yeah, okay. And we'll get the blue stained clay here. So, topics for discussion. Topics for discussione. I've been playing a bunch of games, or I've been looking at a bunch of games off camera to see if they are something interesting for the channel. I've been thinking about this for a while. Does that look? That looks pretty even, I would say. I've been thinking about this for a while. There is a indie gaming subreddit that I follow, and every Friday, I don't know when they started this because it never seems to pop up to the top of the subreddit for some reason. But every Friday they have a Feedback Friday where indie game devs put their games up there and say, hey, what do you guys think of this? And for the most part, a lot of those threads don't get a whole lot of attention. And it's the same thing over on Play My Game, or Play My Game. Like that one actually hasn't been getting as many submissions as it normally does, as far as I can see anyway. At least none that are really filtering up to the top of my front page. But it has sort of the same problem where there's kind of a very low participation in there. There's a lot of people who download the stuff, but there's not a whole lot of feedback that comes through. And I actually found Soul Zero through the Play My Game subreddit. So it's a good subreddit stuff. If I'm going to do this, I need to make a shovel. This is going to get ponderous very quickly here. It's a good subreddit. It's just that it suffers from very low participation on the part of the people downloading the video or downloading the games and actually giving advice and feedback and whatnot. So I've been thinking, I have that sort of kind of empty spot Friday nights on my YouTube channel Friday afternoon, I should say. Friday afternoons at 2:30. I haven't been putting much in there because I haven't been quite sure what I wanted to put there, number one. And number two, I on Fridays I usually do the live stream, so I don't, I figure that sort of makes up for the lack of a video, is because I'm doing live streaming stuff. But what I'm thinking of doing is actually trying to go through these threads that are out there. And I've noticed that a lot of the threads, I guess this is also why there's very low participation. A lot of the threads are, I should say, a lot of the games on the thread are mobile games. And, well, a lot of those mobile games are sort of Me Too stuff. There's very little actual, I hate to say this because it's not entirely true, but from what I've seen, there's very little actual innovation going on in the mobile space. It's a lot of Me Too stuff. It's still a lot of the casual game stuff that you wouldn't necessarily want to watch someone else play, but you would play when you're trying to kill some time, which makes for some very terrible YouTube videos when you have a game that is fun if you're playing it, but not so much fun to watch. So that's kind of the whole point. But that being said, there are all kinds of games put up on there, and I'm thinking of trying my best to actually go through some of those threads and maybe making a video of some of the games, like pick a couple games from it and put them all in one video. Maybe I don't know, do 10 minutes each game or whatever. I'll figure something out. I'm not going to hold it to any particular time amount, because I might run across something that's fantastic and deserves, more than the average. But the more important thing there is, not only am I going to do a video on them, but I'm also going to try to, I'm going to need some torches too. Have I mentioned I am woefully unprepared? Yes, I am woefully unprepared. I literally just hit record. I'm like, you know what? I gotta get this recorded. So I might as well just start now and ramble on as I tend to do. Is there where the hell is this zombie at? Oh, there he is. Yo, there's no zombies allowed in here. What's wrong with you? All right. Got rid of that guy. Damn freeloaders. Anywho, so I was thinking of not only doing a video that's sort of segmented up, where you get to see those things, but also trying to actually do some write-ups on the subreddit. Like do some actual commenting, because I think that goes over better than oh, whoa, where the hell did this guy come from? You damn sneaky zombies. Damn sneaky zombies. Man, he actually gave me a slight heart attack there. Deep breath. So I'm thinking of, I want to make sure that I actually do that and give the actual written feedback, because I know a lot of devs respond a little bit better to the written feedback than they do to the videos, because, they don't necessarily have the time to sit there and watch a 10-minute video, or to try to take notes from it and all that stuff, especially when it's not all feedback. It's also a little bit of entertainment mixed in there, so, which is understandable. So I just want to make sure, I want to try to actually be a little more active in that stuff. I kind of regret not doing more of that, especially with the indie games that I have taken a look at. I have given very little to no actual written feedback on, which is really bad. It's not really what I want to do. It's more of a time constraint thing than anything else, really, and slight laziness too. That underpins all of my stuff. That slight laziness. It's just I've been focusing so much on getting videos recorded and everything else that I've kind of been neglecting some of those other things, especially. I talked a little bit about the Steam curator stuff and how I created a group, but I have not yet done anything with it. And that all those things need to be looked at by me. One of the difficult things of being the only guy that's running the channel is that you have all these these things you got to do. And oh, by the way, make sure you record stuff. I've noticed that actually seems to be a. Oh, you know what? I left the door open. Okay, that probably explains that. Anywho, I've noticed a lot of like channels that I follow. You know, just other YouTubers that are relatively small. Just like sort of spinning up new channels and things like that, which is kind of a little bit weird. I've always thought of the possibility of spinning up another channel just because I still like a lot of the classic games, and I feel like putting them on a channel all their own would be a better fit sometimes. But then I very quickly come to the realization that I have a hard enough time just managing one channel, let alone trying to manage multiples. And I'm seeing a lot of people going down the multiple channel route now. I'm not quite sure what's prompting that. Although some of them, I mean, I can see it's like, oh, it's a vlog channel, or it's this or that. It's not gaming, or it is gaming, but it's not the same thing, or maybe it's a music channel or whatever. So I can kind of see the thought process behind it, but I also can't imagine, just knowing how hard it is just to keep one channel going. I can't imagine how hard it is to keep multiple channels going. I cannot fathom it myself. So, good luck to them. All the power to them. It's just every time I've thought about it, I've gone, yeah, maybe not. It's a good idea in theory, but in practice, probably not. All right, so you guys are watching me dig out stuff for quite a bit here. I'm going to finish digging this out. Oh, you know what? I haven't told you what the hell I'm doing down here. That's right, I forgot. So this is going to be so I said it's going to be 2 floors. It's actually going to be 3 floors. It's 2 floors above and 1 floor down here. This will be the basement. And down in here, I want to make a indoor pool. Now, I made a pool in the last server, and it went it went swimmingly. There you go. Yuck yuck. There's my humor for today. It went quite well. What I have noticed, though, and I don't know if this is still the case or not, what I have noticed is that in 1.8 here, it seems like the water mechanics that they fixed in 1.7, where you could put a water source block on top of another one, and it all fills in quite nice and everything else. It seems like there might be a problem with that, because I was trying to fill in one of those empty, like I was trying to make a river over at the Middle Earth area, and it was the sources were not behaving the way I would hope they would behave. In fact, they weren't even behaving like they used to behave even before 1.7. They were just all kinds of janky and broken. And I don't remember if we were in a snapshot at the time or if it was the full 1.8 version. But I have a feeling that this might end up being too difficult to do, or I might have to go do a world tour where I go find the damn ice biome that I found ages and ages ago and start getting my silk touch on and getting some ice in here and doing it that way. I don't know. I'm hoping that's not the case, but we'll see. I want this to be, as a rec sender, there's a couple things that I want. First of all, I want the first floor. First floor will be sort of just a sitting area, sort of a community area, if you will. Just be some tables and maybe a jukebox or something like that, if I can spare the diamonds for it. And then the second floor, above ground, will be sort of an exercise area. So I have to try to figure out how to make things in Minecraft that look like exercise bikes and various other utensils of pain. And And then on the outside, you saw very briefly a little bit earlier, I was putting down acacia wood planks. I want that to be a I want that to be a basketball court. There's two things about that though. One is, my first thought was that I would have an indoor gymnasium that was had the basketball court in it. Am I not? I am not picking any of this stuff up. All right, let's clear out our inventory a bit. Getting all the use out of this silk touch pick. Unfortunately, I don't have a proper work pick anymore. I am stuck using silk touch picks right now because this is the best pick I have, and it's even though it's silk touch, I don't have anything else. I don't have enough. I haven't enough enchanting levels now, but I didn't earlier when I was making this to try to get a better work pick. I will try to though. When I head back over to my area there, I'm going to try to make an actual work pick instead of using the silk touch all the time. Anywho, I digress. Yeah, I want to make the outside be a basketball court. Now, I was on the fence about having it being an outdoor basketball court versus an indoor, sort of a gymnasium area. My initial thought was to make it indoor. But then, as I start looking at things, I realize that the vision in my head of what this rec center should be is 10 times larger than I can actually afford to make it on the server here for two reasons. One is time, and two is I'm at spawn. Right? If I was over at the Middle Earth area or just anywhere but spawn, I would probably have made it 10 times larger than what it is. Even though it would cost me lots of pain and suffering. Well, this iron, I love this. I need this. Even after the last episode, was it last episode, or did I do that off camera? I think I did that off camera, the mining for iron. No, I did it in a live stream. Yeah, I went mining for iron in a live stream, and I have a ton of it, thankfully. But it's all going to disappear soon when I get all the hoppers set up that I need and various other things. I've also used up all of my quartz, which is going to make it difficult to make comparators for the redstone stuff over at the base, but I'm going to have to do another trip where I get a bunch of things set up, like I need glowstone, which means I'm going to have to go pretty decent away from the spawn area to get glowstone, and the quartz also is probably going to be rather rare as well. So I'm going to have a lot of a lot of nether travel to do, and that's always a pain in the neck. I always end up in some lava pool somewhere wishing I hadn't brought my good stuff with me. Anywho, so that if this were 10 times bigger, I would have had a gymnasium on the inside, and then on the outside I would have had a tennis court with a track running around the edge of it. But I just don't have. I don't feel like I don't want to use up that much room out here, even though I think that would be pretty awesome, and I don't think too many people would care much. I don't want to. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy that just gets kicked out of parties because he's laying all over the couch and not letting anybody sit on it. All right, well, we got all this dug out anyway. This actually is the back wall here, so I need to see if I can put that stripe on the back wall that I was looking for, maybe. I could probably get away with like white stained clay down here too. Now what would it look like? It would look something like this, maybe? Like that. Yeah, see, I want it to go. Well, I guess that works actually. It's got to be like multicolored and kind of weird looking. So that would be one, and then have another one here that's a different color. I could use the brown, I suppose. That would fit in. So what did I do? I did what, 2 down from the top. So we'll do. Let's get up there. Get up there. 1, and 2. Was it 2 down from the top? Yeah, okay. Let's make it sure. It's going to look weird anyway, one way or the other, I think. And do something like this. Yeah, and then we'll have like a stripe, like a couple multicolored stripes going up the front here, and then the rest will be, I think, white stained clay, or I could do polished diorite, I guess. What does that look like? Yeah, it's not white enough. Not white enough. Well, and then the white stained clay is not really white enough either. It would be probably look the best with quartz, but I'm already going to be using a ton of quartz throughout this build. I don't want to add even more quartz down here. And actually, this wall. See, the problem here is that wall is 1 over, right? This wall technically should go back 1 more as well, which may or may not interfere with some things up there. I'll have to see, because I want this to go back 1 more. Well, actually, it doesn't necessarily need to go back 1 more. I can just dig into it the way it is right now with the different patterns. But yeah, I'm going to have all that in here, and then this is going to be the pool area. So let me just dig that out. I'm just going to dig 1 layer just so I can see kind of where the pool's going to be. I want you to be able to walk around it though, because I want to also put some chairs and stuff. So that's 3 on this side, and I think 3 on this side and 2 on this side is probably okay. Well, actually, no, this is a wall here as well. So this has to be filled in a little bit. Let's do 1. So that's 1, 2, and then 3, I guess. So that would make it even, although it's a pretty darn small pool. But then again, I am scaling this whole thing down, so I think it's okay that it's a smaller one. Let's just dig this out and see what it looks like. Again, in my brain, this whole thing was about 10 times larger than it actually is, so I'm trying to scale down my ambition a little bit. I seem to be a little bit too ambitious when it comes to Minecraft and other things. Yeah, I think that's a good area for it. And then I'll dig that down a couple more blocks, and then we'll fill it in with the appropriate amount of water. Okay, all right. So given all that, let me cut away. I'll get to my inventory straightened out, and then we'll head on over to the base, and I'll show you what I've been up to over there. It's spoilers. It's not much. It's not much that I've been up to, but you can at least get a glimpse at some of the things. So I'll head over there, and I will be right back. Home sweet home we are. And as I was walking over here, I realized something. It's actually pretty dark up there at nighttime, and it really should be lit up a little bit better. I feel like that mountain needs to be it needs to pop out at you as just being the focus of your attention. It needs to be a little bit more epic. I still have to do some things with this stairwell here, the stair steps here, where I kind of make it come out and have, a proper supports and all that other things. But oh yeah, there's a creeper managed to actually spawn up on top of that. Yeah, that is way too dark up there. I need to do something up there that will, other than also, putting banners up here and getting an actual flag up there, I need to put some better lighting around. I need this place to really look awesome. And this guy, did I look at him, or did he's on a mission. I might have looked at him. Not quite sure. but yeah, this needs to be, there needs to be more to this. I feel like it looks good, and it certainly reminds me of a time when I actually had thoughts about how things should look. I actually had the ability to make something that looks half decent instead of just plain Jane stuff. I don't know how I lost that ability, but I did at some point along the way here. But yeah, I'm gonna kind of think about this a little bit and see how I can maybe improve upon this. I have a theory. I have a thought on it. The only problem with my thought and my theory is that it involves flame and all this, and this is all wood. So I have a feeling that this will end up very. This may end up being a very bad idea that I have on my brain. But over here, not much else to report. Although that the way that the snow lands on here, it does look pretty cool. And not much more to report here, other than I have gotten another. Oh, there's a witch down there and everything. Every mob in the game down there almost. I have. Wow, there's like 2 Endermen too. I have increased. I have put another. Yes, use your words. I have put another post down here, another stair step thingy, and this creeper and everything else is going to be a pain in my butt. I just know it. Let's see if we can draw some of them over here a little bit. But as you can see, let's see if I can get rid of this guy. Get rid of that guy. And that guy. Very good. I will defend this mountain. I will be the king of this mountain. I am the king of this mountain, baby. Alright. So yeah, I've got another pillar there. I don't have it quite completed. I still have to get all the decorative blocks in there. And I'm also thinking of... ooh, he just lagged his way over there. I'm also thinking of putting the iron bars on there as well, which I have a feeling I'm going to be using a lot of iron bars, because I'm also thinking of using iron bars over at the rec center there instead of the fences, the fence posts. Using that over there because I think that would have the look that I'm looking for. But as you can see, it now extends up to the road here. I've pulled the road out a little bit further. This road, I suspect, is just going to end right about here. I think I might just knock this down and level it out, and then maybe have it just come right to the edge, and then we'll figure out what to do with it later. Just like this thing's going to come over to the edge a little bit, and then I'll figure out what to do with it later. But yeah, that's where we stand over here. And then this guy just, oh, there's a skelly over here. Yep, there you go. Burn, skelly. Over here, let me grab this stuff. Alright, so we go back over into the base here. You'll notice, probably right away, you probably noticed this as I was looking around a little bit earlier, but this is now all ground level. Kind of. This is only one layer here, so one creeper blast will send you for a nice little fall. But yeah, I've got, in fact, you can hear the zombies down there. I lit it up somewhat, but not entirely, so if I follow the this water down here, you'll see just how bad it is. So yeah, over here I just kind of filled out all the dirt, and luckily the grass expanded from where it was over there. And again, over onto this side, I'm surprised actually. Oh yeah, I guess it came from that side over there. And then this, obviously this was all hanging out in the air here. So I tried to make it as square with the canyon as I could, with square with everything else as I could. Obviously it doesn't look natural. And I don't know that I actually want it to look natural. I kind of figure it's okay for it to look a little bit chiseled out. And I might maybe add a little bit more grass down here to make it kind of stand out a little bit better. But yeah, this is what I have here for that, which I think it's okay. It's yeah, it does sort of, as I said, it does stick out a little bit, and I might be able to interdisperse some of the stone with maybe some grass or something. I gotta make sure there's no creepers up on top of this thing. I've seen a couple walking around there. Yeah, I could interdisperse some stone in there, or some dirt in there, but I think it's just going to look weird regardless of what I do. I think right now it looks like just a chunk error, which is, I suppose, as natural as it comes when it comes to Minecraft. So there's that part. There's that part of that. And that's really all I've managed to do. I still need to finish this place up. I need a lot more as far as wood in here and getting the roof figured out. I still have to do stuff down in the mine. The storage area has not expanded much since you last saw it because I had to, in the live stream, I went and grabbed a bunch of iron. So as you can see, I now have a ton of iron. So hopefully that will be enough to do some more. Okay, where is this guy at now? Oh, he might be up there. Yeah, I might be hearing the ones up there now that now have all the darkness in the world. But yeah, I haven't done much else with this other than put the glass floor in, but I think I showed that off either in the last episode or the one before that. Well, now I have enough iron to do some more hoppers, and hopefully I can get my mob drops down there and all this other stuff down there, so we can clear out this top area finally and get back to looking at what I'm going to do with all these farms back here. See if anything is... No, not quite. Everything else over here is still pretty good. I have to figure out how to... I mean, I want these to be as efficient and yield as much as possible each time I do it. I have to figure out the best way to stagger these dispensers so that goes out the way it's supposed to. Hopefully I'm not getting frame rate lag there. I don't see any frame rate lag, but I'm using DxTory and it's very deceptive. That's one of the things, even though it's one of the things that they tout about DxTory, is that, oh, you'll get 90 frames per second even though you have it only recording at 30. It's kind of nice to also acknowledge in fraps that, hey, yes, I'm getting some frame rate lag, and maybe I would stop and stop moving for a little bit and let the game catch up and all that stuff, but no such luck now. No such luck when I'm using DxTory, because I have no idea until I actually watch the recorded footage and find out that, yeah, that you couldn't even see half of that because it all probably lagged out. Anywho, I am just rambling on right now. I think that will do it for this episode on the LiveCraftMine server. Thanks very much for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time.